This felt like an elevated Jason Statham film, like The Mechanic, The Beekeeper, The Running Man, but just with Glenn Powell instead. Fun but forgettable. In fact, I've forgotten it already. And because it's so different from the 1987 version, I wouldn't even call this a remake. And even still, the things that made the OG version memorable was the action, the runners, but in this one they serve no real purpose, and the hunters slash stalkers in the OG version they had Fireball and Dynamo and Sub-Zero and the Chainsaw Guy. This one is just four guys with no personality, strangers they found on Grindr. Glenn Powell and Josh Brolin were good with what they were given, but the undisputed standout was none other than Coleman Domingo. Real flair and charisma, I had a smile every time he was on screen, the best part of the movie, but still, he was barely in the film. That aside, I wasn't really engaged with what was going on. It did have an off-the-wall tone, which took a moment to get used to, almost cartoonish at times. There was one moment referring to Glenn Powell's character where they were like, oh, this is the angriest man on earth, and you just see him there like which is fine, but then it makes it more confusing and more difficult to land the more serious moments, especially when the conflicting tones aren't handled skillfully enough to make it work. But Running Man 2025, I couldn't recommend running, jogging, or even walking to the cinema to see this one.